back to Court TV Live. I'm Matt Johnson. Let's head back to Florida, back to the sentencing trial for the Parkland school shooter. We're in day 5 of the penalty phase, wrapping up the first week. Nicholas Cruz has already pled guilty to murdering 17 people back in 2018. We now want to get you back to live court. On the stand, the medical examiner who performed autopsies on the victims.
Okay, the jurors have exited, so just to keep you all in the loop, the sheriff's office passed me a note that one of the jurors needed to use the restroom right away.
Sure.
So that's the reason I cut you off.
That's fine.
Okay, so we'll just take a 5-minute recess, long enough for the jurors to use the restroom, and then we'll continue. Doctor, if you need to walk around, that's fine. Just please don't discuss your testimony with anyone.
Okay.
And we'll finish you up in 5 to 10 minutes or however long it takes.
The jurors needed a bathroom break. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Kirk Nurmi, joining us from Phoenix, Arizona. Kirk, when we're listening to autopsies, and then we have to listen to 17 accounts from the medical examiner's office. How do you talk to the victim's family in a situation like this? They are sitting through this, through each of the loved ones that are lost.
Matt, we have to assume that before this trial even began, there was that kind of meeting because, Mr. Cruz has already pled to 17 counts of murder. He was going to go away for life. So the question becomes, are we going to do all this just so we can kill Mr. Cruz? And that's ultimately the discussion that they had with the families of the deceased as well as the other victims we've heard of. So ultimately the decision has been made based on maybe a consensus, what have you, before they entered into court, that this is how they wanted to proceed, knowing full well they should have been advised anyway that this is how things were going to have to play out, not only because of the counts, but also because of the cruelty aggravators that the state is alleging.
Right, the evil that was unleashed on this entire community and that school, his former school. 17 people dead, 17 others injured, everyone else scarred for life. Is it a formality that the medical examiner go through each and every one of the victims when he's already pled guilty to murdering those people?
Well, in one sense, yes, you could say it's a formality, but the other, keep in mind those aggravating factors, Matt, because really this trial is life or death, right? And one of the aggravating factors is cruel, heinous, and depraved, and as grisly as it might sound to some of the viewers out there, you look at gunshot sequencing and things like that, the instantaneousness of death, in order to understand those sort of things. So it may seem pro forma, but really in the detail, there can be important factors for the state to proving those aggravating factors of cruel, heinous, and depraved, for example.
Right, and the mitigating factors of, his mental state at the time. And when we come down to brass tacks, when this is going to be months long, and when this jury finally decides whether or not it's going to be the death penalty in the state of Florida or it's going to be life in prison without the possibility of parole, the defense wants the jurors to consider the fact that he's on drugs right now. How could that play a factor into it? And do you think that the Judge Scheer, will allow that?
I think she should. Lots of death sentences get overturned on appeal because judges are the first word, not the last, and they can make wrong decisions in this regard. And one of the things that a jury has to do before they're sworn in is they have to be able to give either a death penalty or life sentence. And they are also tasked with giving meaningful consideration to all the mitigating factors. And mitigating factors are things that happen at time of conception, fetal alcohol syndrome, things of that nature, all the way up to the day of sentencing, literally how he is acted in prison, etc., and including, Matt, to get to your specific question, the type of medication he's on and his mental health diagnosis. So they are tasked legally for that. So any death sentence to stand, they must give meaningful consideration to that. So in my mind, the judge must allow the defense to present evidence of that nature.
Okay. Well, another big takeaway from today and this week as we wrap up the first week of testimony is testimony from law enforcement. It marked the first half of today's testimony. Those folks on the stand, those first responders. While court's on a short break, let's take a look back at some of those witnesses.
I'd like to call your attention to Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018. Did you have an occasion to respond to a location?
Yes, I did.
And where did you respond to?
Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
And where did you respond from?
The City of Coral Springs Police Department.
And where is that with reference to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School?
The exact mileage I do not know, but it is down Coral Springs Drive, a few miles away.
Okay, just a few miles?
Correct.
Okay, and did you approach a certain building?
I did.
And which building did you approach?
I approached from the west side of the 1200 building.
Okay. When you approached the building, did you observe anything?
I did.
What did you observe?
I observed officers were on scene already, and then